and salutations, partner! This is Cage's Kiss, the ultimate Cage cast, where we discuss each of the National Treasure's cinematic masterpieces and his life. We also try to glean whatever kernels of wisdom we can from his character this week, who is H.I. McDonough, and I am Adrian.
And I'm Linda, but you can call me Velveeta.
And I'm Donnie. I'm Tillamook. It's from the Bible.
Why, that would be like Jason or Tab, right?
That would.
I believe we are talking like this because this week's movie is the Coen Brothers' own Raising Arizona from 1987.
Blessed are the cheesemakers.
What's so good about them?
They smell funny and they live in Wisconsin.
Oh.
Come at us, cheesemakers.
Yeah, bring it. Come on, Raggedy Man.
But this is the greatest American movie ever made.
If nothing else, it is the
Agreed.
best movie that we've done so far. Like, I would just say it, like, based on our existing standard, this is too good to be on this podcast.
And definitely
Very.
one of my favorite movies of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. Although, apparently, the governor of, the mayor of Scottsdale, Arizona at the time was very incensed by this film. And said it did not represent Arizona well, and that I think he said something else really crusty, like it should be banned.
Was he
Which I thought was
Polish?
fun. Oh, shit.
No, his last name was Drinkwater, you know.
I thought that was funny because, I mean, of course, we're going to get into it later, but having seen this when I was a kid, it kind of, like, helped me build a model of what a parent should be.
True, and it did make me want to go and buy a motorcycle one day.
That's right.
Oh, that's true. I remember that.
Because them's $1954.
Yeah.
Although, you know, it was just a couple years ago.
Right, yeah, your childhood, right.
Yeah.
Why do you have to keep lying to yourself?
Just give me another doll.
I'm going to grow up to be Blanche Devereaux.
You're not the gentleman I was expecting. So today's movie. We are in the salad days here for Nicolas Cage's career.
Most of.
We're not only a second good movie in a row. This is also a second profitable movie in a row. This movie grossed $29 million, $1987 on a $6 million budget. It is only the second movie by the illustrious Coen brothers. They'd previously done 1985's Blood Simple, which also had Frances McDormand and Dan Hedaya. And they designed Raising Arizona to be as different as possible from Blood Simple.
Just a little.
Even though there is the common element of it being in southern United States and involving crime.
And I
But
want to
not
say
the deep
Palm
south. Yeah, and Palmade, yeah.
Well, supposedly they wanted to create the Hudsucker Proxy, which...
Right, but that would have cost too much, so they put that one off.
Right,
You notice when the gas station attendant hits the panic alarm, when H.I. is holding it up in the middle of the film there, it's a Hudsucker alarm system.
And Ty works for Hudsucker Industries.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's where the Hudsucker was. The alarm system was
Yeah.
else. That's right. Fuck that one up. Thanks, Linda. Thank you so bloody much.
You're welcome.
Yep, that's right. Our movie was shot by Barry Sonnenfeld, who went on to have a very uneven directorial career in the 1990s. So on the good, he did both the Addams Family movies, but then he did the Men in Black movies and Wild Wild West.
We can
Wiggy,
forgive
wiggy.
some of that.
Yeah, I'm only so forgiving. Sorry. We did Big Trouble, which, despite having Tim Allen in it, was pretty solid.
Yeah. We'll talk more about the Wild Wild West and our Klein cast.
Oh, then we'd have to discuss the January Man at some point. I don't know if that's safe.
A bridge too far for Adrian.
Oh, God, we have to watch Silverado. Ugh.
Oh.
Not cool, dude. Not cool.
You know you want to do it.
No.
And In and Out.
Oh, well, watched it already. What's one more?
Well, that had Joan Cusack. Oh, well, anyway.
I do love Joan Cusack, but there's Addams Family Values for that.
That's true. That's very true.
and she and John are the same person.
All the Cusacks have my love.
This is Cage starring role once again here. Cage was into doing his usual thing with improvisation and such, and the Coens, while they appreciated that, they did not use any of it. They cut out a lot of his stuff, and they politely listened to but did not use his suggestions.
Yeah.
He described their vision as rigid and autocratic.
Which apparently Joel replied saying that he understood why he would make that statement and that it was fun working with him. But he also said that the Coens clarified that they much prefer working with an actor like Cage because he possesses,
as opposed to an actor who needs to be jump started. They said,
yeah.
I wonder who they were referring to.
Has a quote unquote fertile imagination. Yeah,
I wonder if this is an abstract slam against Gabriel Byrne or somebody. Like, if I research this further, we need to contact whoever's doing the Coen cast. See if they know about
I'm sure there's one out there.
Yeah. Also on this one, they were working really hard to stick to the budget. So apparently, like there was a lot of rigid planning specifically on this film.
And it worked out really well. I mean, they had a beautiful vision, and it all came together perfectly.
Even though apparently it was not fully appreciated by critics at the time.
Yeah.
No.
They were like, what's going on? Is this reality or fantasy? I don't understand things. Things are hard. Movies.
Things are indeed hard.
Explain your theme to me, movie. What do you mean? Apparently, Kevin Costner really wanted to play H.I. McDonough, Nicolas Cage's character.
Yes.
I'm glad
he auditioned for the part 3 times. I think we're all glad he didn't. Yeah. Sorry, Kevin Costner. You have to go do Bull Durham.
I'm not sorry. Kevin Costner can suck my ass.
Come for us, Kevin.
But you guys are forgetting. You're talking about Mr. Brooks.
I think we're forgetting he can lick my log cutter. I don't give a shit about Kevin Costner.
If
He
you
did kill
lick
Dane
Donnie's
Cook,
log
though.
cutter, he will come.
Now back to the good stuff.
Edwina Ed there, the Holly Hunter's character, that character was written just for her.
Oh,
That's why she fits it to a T.
Yeah, apparently they wanted her for Blood Simple, but she was busy with in another play at the time.
So Holly Hunter, she attended the Yale School for Drama, and her roommate was Frances McDormand.
Yeah.
It was fucking destiny.
It's beautiful.
Like, coolest roommates ever. So before being in this, Holly Hunter was in The Burning, which is a really cool early 80s slasher flick that is lesser known, but it's like, I think it's right up there with Friday the 13th, possibly better. And this is me saying that Friday the 13th, the sequels are pretty much shit, as fun as they can be. And Friday the 13th Part 1, though, no complaints. And she was also in Swing Shift, and she did appear, I think, a smaller part in Blood Simple. After this, she did broadcast news. She was in The Firm. She showed up in The Big Sick. She was probably the best thing about The Big Sick, actually. And it's Holly fucking Hunter,
Hell yeah.
Like, if you don't know who she is, you just, what can I even do for you?
And
what do you even do?
everyone but Adrian loves Raymond.
No.
I have to say, as much as I don't appreciate Ray Romano, he was also pretty likable in The Big Sick.
Yeah.
I just didn't care for either of the
him.
leads.
Oh, I love Kumail Nanjiani.
He's sure it's fine.
He's a big old nerd.
He's a damn fine baby.
He's awful damn good. I got the best one. So another Coen Brothers staple in this movie, we've got John Goodman. John Goodman, who had previously appeared in Chud.
Yeah.
And The Big Easy.
What are my chuds?
This movie does give us actually the birth of John Goodman.
This is true. This is him happening right there on screen. Because after this, he did Burglar and he did Sea of Love and, was objectively fucking famous.
I see what you were going for there, though, Donnie. Like, it did seem like a birth scene for Gail and Evel. Yeah. And I love, somebody pointed out in
I never thought anybody would make William Forsythe look small. Like, you've seen William Forsythe in other films, like this fucking hulking gap-toothed guy. It's like, oh my god, he's gonna fuck me up. Like, this is actually a really weird turn. I love William Forsythe, by the way. You know, like, he'd been in the Untouchables TV series and Once Upon a Time in America. And he was in fucking Out for Justice. Out for Justice is set in Brooklyn, and Forsythe is from Brooklyn, right? And Steven Seagal's like, you should really work on your Brooklyn accent. It's not very good. And William Forsythe's like, yeah, maybe you should work on yours. Yeah. Just a little bit. Maybe you should work
on my dick.
Yeah. That was, you know how Seagal likes to randomly injure stuntmen? He also did to Forsythe on that film because he is a prick.
Fucking it. Oh.
Dear Steven Seagal, wherever you are, fuck you.
And stop listening to our Cage cast.
Yeah.
This is not for you.
Yeah, get a life, Seagal. What the fuck?
Not you, though, Katie Seagal. We love you.
Oh, yeah, exactly the opposite.
Anywho.
And may Boris Seagal rest in peace.
So, anyway, there was a movie.
Right, Raising Arizona, I think it was called.
But one thing I loved was talking about that sort of birthing scene for Vel and Gail. Was somebody pointed out in IMDb that although, like, other characters are crying throughout the movie, especially those two, the babies never cry.
The baby does not. True. Yeah. No, I mean, Nathan's just as well behaved a baby as you could ever want. Nathan Jr. Yeah.
I do want that baby.
Watching this over again, it's really odd to me that there can be like a movie like concerning a baby that's actually like enjoyable and not just pap.
True.
Look who's talking.
Are you referring to my various baby abductions? It's up to the market. I don't determine it. You know.
Look who's talking now.
Maybe we haven't explored all the themes. Maybe we should try cats. Oh man. Speaking of screaming, like the fight scene in their double wide there, where everything gets broken. Like,
so beautiful.
That's just fantastic. That's one of the great screen fight scenes right there. You know, pulls back his fist, smashes out a window, punches out a cabinet.
For me, it's like it's that scene and the one from They Live.
I also I don't know if you saw that, but also the bathroom fight scene in Jack Reacher. I really enjoyed that. That was adorable.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, the fight scene in the trailer made the raid look like it was for pussies.
That's right.
This movie was fucking intense.
Damn right.
Oh. Yeah, I love that. But
I also there's a few running gags in here. Some of them are just dialogue things, like, you know, like saying he's awful damn good, or okay then,
or I love.
And there's all those bunt cakes that keep showing up.
That's true.
You notice everybody has a bunt cake, sometimes frosted, sometimes not.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, and every time somebody steals the baby, they also steal Dr. Spock's baby book along with it. Well, it is getting more and more haggard. Yeah, I got the instructions.
Can I just share one of my favorite pieces of dialogue?
Oh yeah. Go for it.
It's when the prison counselor says, most men your age high are getting married and raising up a family. And Gail says, well, sometimes your career's got to come before a family. And Evel
Work's
says,
always kept us happy.
Work's what's kept us happy. I love that.
And for those that don't know, this movie is about a man who goes to prison constantly for armed robbery, but never uses ammunition because he doesn't want to hurt anyone.
Unarmed robbery, yeah.
Yes, unarmed robbery, and falls in love with a police officer who also falls in love with him, and they decide to get married once he's free and straight and narrow, and then decide we want a baby. But they can't have a baby, so they gotta steal a baby.
Because Holly Hunter finds out she's barren.
Yeah, There
Her
ain't nothing
insides were
wrong
a
with
rocky
his
place
sperm.
where my seed could find no purchase. I love the doctor in that scene pointing at the female anatomy with the really creepy
He
smile
was
on his
really
face.
happy about her being barren.
Yeah, it's like,
And he's
see
using
that?
a cigar
You can't have you no
point.
kids.
See, it's like if they could have given him a little dialogue, and he's like, "You see that road? You don't go down that road. Like that road's barren, it's stony, nothing will grow there.
One of them
barren's
ectopic
metal.
pregnancies.
You plant a seed, nothing's gonna grow on that garden."
It's one of those down easter Arizona doctors. None of us are from Maine. What's with that?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Anyway,
Anyway, the story of the movie.
so after they find out they're barren,
Then they find out about the Arizona quints, about how Nathan Arizona of Unpainted Arizona Furniture Stores, wife with fertility treatments, had quintuplets. And Ollie Hunter concludes that they have more than their share, and they need a baby, damn it.
Yes, a police officer decides that they need to steal a baby.
Now, honey, you had resigned at that point.
I want that baby. You're gonna get me that baby.
Get me a topic. All she wants is another baby.
no. I'd like to take this moment to apologize for Adrian.
I'm made up my mind. I'm keeping my baby.
In this moment as well.
I'm gonna keep my baby.
But then they meet Yvel. Well, Yvel and Gail, who are friends of High's from prison, break out of prison and show up at High's front door.
They tunnel out of prison in a freaking field full of mud.
And feces.
Feces. Don't
Yeah,
forget
because
the
they hit the
feces.
main sewer line on the way out. We don't always smell like this, ma'am. We hit the main sewer line on the way out.
Yes, they did not break out of prison either, should be noted.
And they were sure to get some pomade and slick their hair back.
That
to make
was
them
actually
present
really
themselves
sickening.
presentable.
They left the clothes on, yeah. Just covered in feces.
No, I can handle the covered in feces part for them, but seeing all that pomade on their hair and then adding even more, it's like that literally made my stomach fucking turn.
That's how you do it. You just turn the hair into a solid piece of plastic.
Yeah.
That's presentable.
Yeah. Get some suede.
But then of course, a bounty hunter comes looking for
Randall
The
Tex
savior.
Cobb. As
comes looking for
Smalls,
the
the
baby.
lone biker of the apocalypse.
Leonard Smalls.
Yeah, and hijinks ensues.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Including that really sweet part where he F's up robbing a convenience store and has to run through the grocery store in people's houses.
Oh my god, that's my favorite
And the
scene.
Huggies keep getting shot out of his hand.
If
I
we're
don't
gonna
care how many times I see that scene. Like I crack up laughing every time. It's just beautifully absurd.
It's great. It's great chaos there.
Yeah, if we're gonna talk about that scene like way into the movie at that point, is that just Arizona where everyone has guns and starts shooting immediately at any crime, or is this like Trump's
Mayor
America?
Drinkwater says it's not, but that probably just means that it is.
Yeah, I mean, I was
'Cause
really
fuck Mayor
surprised. Like,
Drinkwater.
okay, he robs a store, then cop is sitting outside the fucking door of his patrol car, shooting wildly into a neighborhood.
Meanwhile, the convenience store kid with the braces is also shooting at him, who we see later
Yeah.
with the Jugs magazine.
Everyone has fucking guns. Even Cage, when they decide to go after the baby because it's stolen
Well,
by John
Except
Goodman.
for the other convenience store fellow who says,
Yeah.
not unless rounds funny. To Mississippi.
I counted, and Cage had 5 guns on him when they go after the baby. He
Let's
did.
go
when-
get Nathan Jr.
Yeah, when they decide they have to get Nathan back from John Goodman's character and his friend, Nick Cage is pacing, and every time he paces, he has a new
He has another
handgun
gun,
that he
yeah.
puts in his belt, in his back,
Oh.
in his pocket, and then he comes back with a shotgun.
Yeah. All of which are useless against the lone biker of the apocalypse.
Well, yeah,
True,
but
true.
that's also its own episode almost.
Yeah. And they both got that Woody the Woodpecker tattoo.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
so it's like Smalls is conjured out of his own fears.
Yes,
in fact, that's how the character was designed.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like him fighting his bad tendencies.
Yeah, that is his inner demon, and he's huge.
Yeah, but then there's other people that got even further out in the crazy fuck farm where they're trying to say it could have been his father, it could have been a long lost brother. It's like, no, don't get deeper than you have to into this shit.
No, that's... See, I hate it when people pull that one. It's like, no, there's a way, and it's not that other one.
No.
It's like the Coen brothers, they are auteurs, they're for real filmmakers. They're not just shitheads. But
they're
like
not
the trouble is,
Wachowskis.
yeah, they're not the fucking Wachowskis. The trouble is,
he's like his shadow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like he first sees him in a dream, which is also a premonition, So like there's,
right,
a little bit of magical fuckery there. Apparently, this is one of the major criticisms that the '80s critics have, is that it's like, what's with fantasy stuff? I don't understand.
God damn it!
I don't get it.
Birdie made sense.
Yeah. Apparently, it's like brilliant. He wants to fuck a bird.
Which I do have to throw out there. I have to throw some shame. Linda, our parents actually saw Birdie in theaters, and they very much remember enjoying it.
That's how y'all's was conceived.
What?
Yeah, Adrian kind of hit the pigeon on the head with the dick. We were conceived because of pigeon fucking.
10 years later.
Yeah, maybe. I'm a Christ child, so I can't speak for you.
They saw that scene in Eraserhead, and they both kind of got into it. And then later they saw Birdie, and it all got clenched.
Yeah. Eraserhead does kind of get you in the mood.
Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Roberts.
We're real sorry.
I'm more sorry for the Polish, actually. There were a lot of horrible Polish jokes in this movie.
Yeah, well, the two, I don't know, I'm half Polish. I don't give a shit. Besides, if you ever pick up one of those gross jokes like they used to have, gross jokes books like they used to have at Barnes & Noble, all those ethnicity jokes are interchangeable. You get the ones with the stupid and the feces and the implied incest and all that,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my mom and my brother are different. They hear a Polish joke, and for some reason they get really upset. I'm like, didn't step in it, you see, because it was poop, but he picked it up in his hand. You see, like he's dumb, I didn't put my shoe in this, but I'm touching it with my hand. I'm gonna taste it. It's like, yeah, real deep jokes, guys.
Now, talking about this movie, Joel Cohen said, quote, "The movie was about parenting, and neither of us was a parent, but we're not really intimately..." I'd like to take this moment to apologize for Donnie.
God damn it.
I continue. He said, "But we're not really intimately acquainted with murder either, and we made a movie about killing people." End quote.
And that went over really well both times. So.
Yeah, and murder is hilarious with them.
It is. Yes, it is.
I think fucking Ebert gave it like 1.5 stars.
Roger Ebert is a fucking pants-shitting moron. Okay, Roger Ebert, if you look at his worst of the year for any year, you're going to find movies that became classics, and he apologized for his review later. Some other movies that got his worst of the year include Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Fight Club. Roger Ebert doesn't know shit.
And
didn't he also create the Return to the Valley of the Dolls?
He wrote the screenplay for Russ Meyer's Return to the Valley of the Dolls and Super Vixens.
Yeah, so I mean,
and if you've ever seen it, it's Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. If you've ever seen it,
movie.
It is the most hilarious fucking thing ever. It has this whole moral reel at the end. It got an X rating in 1970. Yeah, rated R now. Oh my god, I love that piece of shit. Oh, it's really long, too. But he did not write Beneath the Valley of the Ultra Vixens, though. Like, he wasn't good enough for that one. Real movie. Look it up.
I think says enough. When he was talking about Nick Cage said, quote, "What I liked best about this character was his humility. He was a very unusual guy. He played by his own rules, but had a lot of integrity. The first contact I had with the film was through the script, and I was sold as soon as I read it. I was impressed with it because it required no adjustments. It was terrific to finally find one like that." He also said, quote, the script was funny because you could see something very human in the way these people think and behave, end quote. And I have to agree, because it is, absurd, but it's also...
But you see people like becoming parents through the worst possible circumstances, and then going through all the shit that goes with being a parent almost immediately.
And it's like...
he's a little outlaw, you could see that.
I mean, if you look at it, there is definitely like the hero's journey there. I mean, it's all
really
about
fast.
him becoming, getting that at what he calls strength of character to be a good parent.
Well, and also everyone that comes in contact with this baby suddenly becomes a parent.
It's like there's something about Mary, except instead of lust, it's parental urges.
Yes. Without jizz in the hair, it's just pomade.
No jizz in the hair this time, guys.
Also,
for a movie surrounding a baby, surprisingly non-disgusting, which I appreciated.
Yeah, well, he did have an accident, and as John Goodman told us, that's natural.
Moving though we are, Junior went and took himself a little pit stop. Gail, he smiled at me.
The film was shot in 10 weeks. And I guess the first day of shooting was a little... got off to a rocky start because Nick Cage's canvas chair, the quintessential filming chair that has the name on the back, it read Nicholas, spelled Nicholas, and of course he spells his name without the H. Yeah, so they fixed it by just covering up the H with a Band-Aid.
Brilliant.
Like, if it works.
Makes sense.
But I also wanted to say that scene when Florida, Arizona, Nathan Jr.'s mom realizes that Nathan
Florence,
Jr. is gone.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Where am I? Yes, excuse me.
It's okay. We don't have
you
a
need to
structure
share your
to this
meds with us.
podcast.
Flow. Jesus Christ.
Oh, so it's Nathan's aunt.
Ew. So when Mama Arizona realizes that Nathan Jr. is gone, it's that scene where like the camera jumps over a bunch of things, like including
you're wrong.
a child's bike, and goes into the what?
It's a Kandarian demon camera. Thank you.
Yes, obviously.
Did I mention that the Coens did work with Sam Raimi in the 80s? They wrote.
That's what I was genuinely thinking. It was very.
And
much
Raimi
reminiscent.
also was one of the writers on Miller's Crossing.
Yeah.
And this that scene was actually a direct homage to The Evil Dead, because Joel Coen was the assistant editor.
There you
Yay!
Yay!
Join us.
And speaking of that scene, I should say that Dr. Lynne Kitei, the actress who played Mama Arizona, she is, besides being an amazing actress, she is also a medical doctor, a witness, researcher, and author on ufology and everything alien, I guess. In fact, she wrote a book and created and produced a documentary on the Phoenix Lights, which she's also
one of those UFO enthusiasts.
Yeah, she's one of those. She has a fine appreciation for the finer things.
That's right.
It's right. Too right. And as you may know,
movie The Arrival's really bad. I mean, really bad.
We'll talk about it in the Sheen cast. So anyway, and yes, it is. It really, really is. But it's I am a big ol' friggin' nerd. I am a card-carrying member of MUFON, and I had the pleasurable experience of seeing one of her presentations a couple years ago at UFO Fest.
I'm so proud of that.
You were in the same room as this woman?
I got to talk to her.
Oh my God.
And I love her. Like, besides being brilliant, she's also so nice, you guys. And like, I got to talk to her.
Fire in the Sky was a good movie.
It's funny you should say that, because I think Travis Walton was there that same year.
Well,
But
Lord.
and I got to meet him too. But
How much
anyway,
and then
Kool-Aid
Whitley
have they
Strieber
given you?
showed up.
it's not my fault that you want to keep your eyes closed to the truth. Anyway,
It's out there, Scully.
I got to meet her. I got to talk to her after her presentation, and she was just amazing, amazing, amazing. And I totally fangirled out on her, and I told her that this was one of my favorite movies of all time. And she told me that that one of the guys on the camera crew was the cameraman for porn, and he
oh,
to
that's
get
where you
that,
found that out.
yeah, to get that scene, they used a porn camera, usually meant to go up women's hoo-has, and put it in her mouth, it's a little bit slightly down her throat, and they just they got the reverse shot, and that's how like it ends up like in her mouth and throat as she's screaming.
That's how it got there.
That's how it got there. But either way,
So back to Cage.
if you're interested at all in like ufology and all that nerdy stuff, I'd
No.
say check her out. She's on Twitter. It's Dr. Lynne Kitei and Kitai, and send her some love from us. She's
No.
awesome.
Speaking of otherworldly things, apparently Cage's hair in this movie reacts to his stress level and gets bigger the higher the stress level
I
is
did
in the
notice
scene.
that.
Yeah, that was intentional. Apparently Cage was really into that idea.
Yeah, sounds like him.
Yeah, makes total sense. Like the part where they're taking the family photo. It's like, hi, you're gonna be there for the baby, right? It's like we're set to pop here, honey.
Oh yeah.
And he's got that
set to
the stash in this picture, and he's got like it's supposed to be a smile, but it's like this worst grimace. it's the camera.
Yes, I love
I
it.
kind of want to say that's the exact look he had last week when he had the fastest marriage and annulment next to Britney Spears.
Ooh, ouch.
He was just testing her faith.
And apparently her criminal record.
She was not chosen.
Wait, that chick from that photo? I don't know. Let's talk about
Erica
the other couple that comes by and visits them at the double wide there. His foreman Glenn and his wife
Yeah.
Frances McDormand. It's like, he's a little angel. He's a little angel straight from heaven. Oh. You're gonna send him to Arizona State, right?
Where's that baby?
You gotta get him his dip tet. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he's gonna get the diphtheria and the night vision. You gotta soak his thumb in iodine, although that won't help nothing with his new university.
Yeah. She wanted another baby because the other ones are too big for cuddling.
They're getting too big.
Her husband, his sperm,
They're
bad.
smashing
He
up the
got
car.
problems with his
They're
sperm.
smashing up the house, and the kid squirts Cage in the crotch with a squirt gun and says, "You wet yourself. You wet yourself." Daddy, Mr. McDonough wet himself. Then he
What
takes a
better
cookie from his
time?
dad and flings it across the room.
What better time to bring up swinging to someone when they're in the middle of an existential life crisis?
I'm talking about sex, boy. Talking about wife swapping.
I felt like it was like the perfect, like they served as the perfect foil for them because like they're like High and Ed just want a baby and they want it so bad, but here are these assholes that have 5 kids
They
and
want
don't
all the babies.
even watch them. Yeah. They have a brood and they're not even watching them and they could give probably less of a shit about them.
That was
He's
Sam
also one of the
McMurray
most
there as Glenn.
racist characters.
Yeah, you know, because he's talking about the trouble with adoption.
Oh.
It's kind of funny too because this movie, this is 87. This is the year after we adopted my little sister, who was from Korea, and so he mentions like it could be two Koreans or a Negro with his heart on the outside.
Crazy times.
Yeah.
Ain't life crazy?
Yeah.
They should sell tickets.
Hell, I'd buy 'em.
Another shot that was filmed in reverse was when Yvelle and Gail stop the car just before
You have
hitting
to.
the car scene.
You fucking have to. That's a live baby in that shot. Yeah, you can't do a stunt on that. That would have been a little bit dodgy.
Well, the sad thing is, I'm sure there are plenty of parents who would have been like, "No, that's fine."
Well, apparently, the Arizona Quints, like as usual, since there's rules for like how long you can keep a baby or a child on set, so for 5 babies, they had 15 babies playing them. One of the babies had to be taken out because it learned to walk partway through.
Right.
And so the mom's like, no, I can make him not walk. I just put his shoes on backwards. And they're like, no, thank you.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to be a star.
Sweep
Hollywood
the
parents.
leg.
That's right. Yeah. Cobra Kai, do or die.
But he's a toddler. Do you have a problem with that, Lawrence?
Oh, and I love that song that Ed sings as a lullaby.
Oh, about the guy
Nathan
going
Jr.?
to the scaffold getting hanged.
Yes, it's called Down in the Willow Garden.
Yeah.
Every time they're singing to the baby, it's always about death.
Well, it's about
Well, there's just a circle of life, man.
It's about a man getting sentenced to death after killing his fiance.
His fiance, that's right.
And I figured, like, it is just so perfectly Ed to sing, a song about like justice and.
I love the way the way this whole thing was put together, though, structurally. How at the beginning, you have with the banjo music, you have the fast-paced prologue about his various arrests and how Ed is there to take his photograph each time he gets arrested, and how he's actually like using that to meet her almost.
Yeah.
And you get the whole history of how they got married and then set out to steal a baby. And like only then do you get the opening titles. Like you get
Right.
like
Yeah,
this
it was
whole,
like
this whole really fast paced 10-minute opener, and that itself was just perfect. Like,
it's like 11 minutes in before the title of the film actually comes
it's like
up.
it's its own
oh,
short
shit.
film before the film. I
Yeah.
fucking love that. See,
It's like, here's all you need to know.
my
Bam.
whole portal
Go.
into like being a fan of movies and finding out things about them was the James Bond movies when I was 12.
Oh, yeah.
And so like I love a good stinger,
Yeah,
And that was
I
a
did
great
like how during like the shootout chase with Cage, that everywhere they went, even inside the stores, they were changing the theme to the song. or
Yeah,
the
they got a
movie, rather,
Muzak
was
version of the
inside.
theme music. Oh, that was great.
That was great.
And I really wish I would have gotten the actor's name, but I loved the off-screen character. I think is the sheriff who'd.
Oh yeah, don't
every
forget to
now
get his
and then in the
profile,
beginning-
Ed. Turn to the right.
Turn to the right. Don't forget the bouquet, Ed.
Why don't you tell me how those come out? Ugh.
I love that. I love that.
This is our most likable Cage here too, with the hair spans and out being like, I don't think that's any of your business.
I just love High. I love him so much, and
High's great.
he and Holly Hunter. I feel like there's a lot of chemistry there, and
fantastic.
they're both amazing actors. And I think this is it. Just everybody on the cast was just amazing, and I think it worked so well.
Yeah.
And speaking of Holly Hunter, Nick Cage said, quote, Holly is the only actress I've worked with who has been full of surprises with her acting. It was like she had a Felix the Cat bag of tricks and just kept pulling things out.
Dude, that's her though, for real though. Like,
Yeah.
She did Copycat. She was in Cronenberg's Crash.
Yeah.
Dude, she is epic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And when she was talking about the movie, she said, quote, we were constantly aware we were making a movie. It was not brain surgery. It was not real life. This was a movie. It's a very self-conscious movie, and I think they're self-conscious movie makers. I love that. Raising Arizona is not a film. It's a movie. Out of Africa is a film. Let's be serious here. It ain't a middle-of-the-road movie. It's made by extremists.
Speaking of, she really is an amazing woman in this movie. She is a prime example that Edwina is a ride or die bitch. I mean, she
Hell
will
yeah,
hate
she
you,
is.
but she'll throw down and shoot people for you.
She walks right the fuck up on that Biker of the Apocalypse too.
She did not give a fuck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, and she was also talking sort of about that too. She said, quote, generally women who have the smarts in movies are portrayed as wily, catty, and cunning. If they have power, it's sexual power. And like it's so fucking true. And I feel like the Coens gave her a great role, and she rocked the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, growing up with this movie, I feel like that really kind of helped inform my idea of what parenting really is, and like what not just that, but like what family is. You know,
Such an insightful infant.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to see this until a little bit later. In fact, I don't think we even rented it until after The Big Lebowski had come out.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, which is what most people kind of like people's window into the Coens was probably either Fargo or The Big Lebowski. Because before that, most of their films weren't especially profitable, even though they did fucking great stuff like Barton Fink.
And The Big Lebowski has a special place in my heart because it really changed my life in that now I can say, shut the fuck up, Donnie, you're out of your element.
Damn, you too.
There's a lot of horrible things I could say,
I
really
like The Big Lebowski. People do way overrate that film.
It really
need to... It's like there's a lot of movies out there that are perfectly fine, and then you meet the fans, and you're like, "Fuck off."
That's kind of how a lot of these are.
Like that's my reaction to A Christmas Story. Like I like A Christmas Story. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. Everybody needs to chill though.
You also fucking love aliens, so shut the fuck up.
I don't love aliens. I love learning about them. Thank you.
You know, I'd rather light a candle than curse your darkness.
I know you're partial to convenience stores.
I don't want to remain ignorant.
That's pronounced ignorant. Thank you.
Okay.
Or my name ain't Nathan, Arizona. That's a $500 camel's hair coat. Sir, I suggest you wash your hands at this point. No leads.
That was beautiful.
I was tracking down microbes, get commies and shit. You know, honestly, this week I also watched an FBI propaganda movie from the 40s. I watched The House on 92nd Street by Henry Hathaway, where it's FBI versus Nazis.
Whoa.
Yeah, which ties right in. If you want to know where a donut is,
you made the mistake of watching Leaving Neverland, and
why'd you watch that fucking thing?
Because she's topical.
I know. It just made me stare off into the abyss and like hear the sound of silence going over and over again in my mind. It's just I had to stop watching it because there's just too goddamn much. But anyway, we watched this movie. Amazing movie. That's beautiful. So I feel like we can't really have much to talk about with
we can talk about everything else but this movie.
No, I mean like with Face Off, I mean
okay, we already know that there was a possibility for alternate casting, although we're all pretty glad that it didn't go that way. The Coen brothers are really fucking good at casting.
Yeah.
God, like to even approach it though.
Bill Murray as Ethan Arizona.
Oh God.
Woody Harrelson as High.
Oh Jesus!
You know, speaking of Woody Harrelson, apparently this is a favorite movie of Matthew McConaughey's. He's watched this movie more than anything else.
It shows.
All right.
Come for us, McConaughey.
I want to know if he has a "Mama Didn't Love Me" tattoo.
You know,
I fetched $25,000 myself when I was a pup.
While I wouldn't change anything about the movie, it did make me like wonder, especially with all the talk about having some creative control. It made me wonder what a film, even like a short film, would look like directed and created by Nick Cage.
Oh, you never saw...
That was called Ghost Rider.
No... Well, no, he did direct that movie starring James Franco, Sonny. Yeah. Which is, sorry, Nick Cage, it's not very good.
Which one is it?
Sonny. It stars James Franco. Nicolas Cage does appear in it, but mostly he's behind the camera. And, of course, it's shot in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because that's the only place in the world, Nick Cage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the only place he's accepted outside of Trader Joe's.
Oh God, that's right. I love me those Trader Joe's croutons.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, bold statements right here. Cage's
That's
Kicks.
right. You can tell him I said so. And if he don't want it, he wants to discuss it, he knows where to find me. The Maricopa County Maximum Security Correctional Facility for Men, State Farm
I'd
Road.
like to take this
I'll be
moment to
waiting.
apologize for my brother.
Don't apologize for me, you alienist.
Mr. Cage, you are always accepted and appreciated in my house.
Oh, apparently
Fuck you and your
Text
flat
Bob is
earth
really hard to
alien
work with.
fuckers.
Oh, no, I'm not a flat earther. Fuck you.
Oh, you're getting there. You're gonna get there.
Well, if she
Look
gets
shit
there,
up,
this
dude.
podcast will document it and will be a record for us all.
Yes, this is going to be recorded and listened to by the FBI at some point when you're under investigation.
So, Linda, around the time we started this, you were having Nicolas Cage-based nightmares. Are those still taking place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's okay, like after researching Birdie, I had a dream. I think it kind of blended with Raising Arizona because it was about my husband and I went to an OBGYN, and they said that
TQ.
we can either, at this point in our lives, we can either have a baby or we could have a puppy. And I was like, oh, puppy, okay. And then, so I went to check out the puppies, and it was that scene from Birdie where they were catching the dogs.
That's how you get
I
them.
was like, what?
You guys were riding with a guy in a truck trying to catch dogs to go to a meat factory?
That's their
Well,
lookout.
that's
It's
where it
humane,
became
ain't
a
it?
nightmare. Because I realized that I had to take all the dogs or else they were going to be turned into meat. And then last night I had this weird nightmare, but I like it did feature Cage, but it wasn't like, it didn't have much to do with Raising Arizona. But in my nightmare, he was covered in holes and pits, and it was terrifying.
Are you
And
sure
he
it
would,
wasn't
like,
Robert Davi?
Are you sure it wasn't Biggie Smalls in your dream?
He loves it when you call him Big Papa.
That's true.
But when he wanted to eat, he would just like put something like I think he put like a live rat in his holes in his stomach and blended it up. So that was an interesting dream. But if there are any psychoanalysts out there, if you can give me a call,
Is she
I'd greatly
cray?
appreciate it.
Tell me,
Yes.
is she cray?
She'll be talking at next year's UFO Fest in Oregon.
Do
Hit
the
me up in
people
my
at
DMs.
UFOs Fest ever discuss the Shaver mystery, or is that something they write off? Is that no longer canon?
Shaver mystery? I'm not familiar.
Richard Sharp Shaver was a war worker in the
shaving.
1940s who was convinced that underground aliens were communicating with him via his welding tool.
yes. Oh no. Oh God, no. That was
I've read 2 volumes of that, and I've got a third. I'm not afraid to go into it.
we didn't discuss it at UFO Fest, at least not to my knowledge, but I heard about it on last podcast on the left. But anyway, we have a
Yes,
movie.
back to this movie.
You know, one of the stories in the Shaver mystery is set in Arizona, though, or under it.
Dulcie, the Dulcie days. Dulcie. Anyway,
Stupid fool.
so would you guys change anything about the movie?
A Criterion release?
Well, yeah. It's hard to find fault with.
I could agree with that.
Sonnenfeld sort of engages in some of that in one of those comedy photographic cliches where everything's a little bit overlit, but you know, it's sort of time honored. Whatever. I mean, I don't know if you can really detract any points for that. I mean,
This
It's
movie
got
did
everything it
have
needs.
more male screaming than any other movie I've seen in a long time.
Other than Antichrist.
Well,
I fucking love
yeah.
Antichrist. Oh, God damn, that was epic.
If you're in the Seattle area or came over for Emerald City Comic Con, you would have seen me on Sunday dressing up as High at the Comic Con. I think I'm gonna have to post.
Did you share that photo on the site?
Yeah.
You should let everybody know.
I will, but I don't know if I look more like. I think I look less like High and more like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, or like Donnie with a mustache. But anyway, Cagey wisdom. I'd say that it's about how you should always put your chosen family first. Get that strength of character. Don't do anything that would hurt anybody else unless you're defending your family or their honor.
Come from a long line of
asking the big
outdoorsmen.
questions and examining life.
I did like toward the end when the guy said that basically it's you either keep trying for a family and kids or you just realize you're happy with the one you have and just be happy with that little family.
Yeah.
Adrian.
I think this movie benefits from having been created by non-parents, by the way. I think that's probably why it's more digestible
I think so.
and not saptacular.
I mean, I'm not a parent, but watching it as an adult, I was, I got so nervous in the scene where he's choosing which baby to take. As like the babies are hanging over the edge of
That
the
worked
crib.
out so well. The bit where Florence comes back in and all the babies just sitting up like nothing.
Like, what you doing?
I think I got the best one. He's awful damn good.
Well, Cage did have some good wisdom himself when he did mention that in Arab lands you set out a plate or two.
you set out a plate or something. Yeah. I love the way they conceived his dialogue on this. They got the regional thing, like calculating the education level and like anything they thought he might have read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because he's such a deep thinker and he's an intellectual. He's a philosopher and
Yeah, that's stretching it a bit, but
I love the
I
random
think he
shit
is.
people say in this movie. I'm going to put it that way. It's like,
yeah.
shit, where are the tellers? Well, they're down there on the floor as you commanded, Gabe.
well, which one is it?
You got a panty on your head.
Hold on a minute there, young feller. Do I freeze or drop? If I freeze, I can't rightly drop. And if I drop, I will be in motion.
Is these
Shut up.
balloons that come in the funny shapes? Well, round is a funny
That's
shape.
fun.
Because that late in the film, the part where John Goodman and William Forsythe robbed the bank.
Yes.
It's a bank
Well,
robbery,
it ain't
y'all.
Ozzy and Harriet.
For those people at home. People at home, you should not conclude not to watch this one. You should conclude to watch this one, by the way.
Most definitely.
If it isn't
Most
clear, we're
definitely.
actually recommending this one.
It's amazing.
It's not like those other Cage movies we mentioned.
It's okay.
And
Yeah.
I feel like with that quote, like that dialogue, that piece of dialogue where they're saying that sometimes you got to put career before family and works what's got us through. I feel like the movie and like High's journey through the movie is really just finding out the opposite, that you've got to put your family first. But I don't know. Anyway,
so many social engagements.
I mean, there's a lot of real shit there, about like the trouble that criminals do have readjusting to society, and the various personality elements that get people into crime, besides just financial woes,
And it's also
Well,
a
that's
movie
the
you
thing.
can enjoy without having to get pretentious or look into deep thought for the movie, too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just like, this is shit I'm getting watching it a couple more times, because I haven't seen this movie, I think, since around 2000, 2001.
Oh, yeah.
no.
You know,
But
always
I guess
good
we
for
should move on. Please, please listen, follow, rate, review, give us some feedback on Cage's Kiss on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and YouTube. We're just starting out. We could really, really use your help. Plugs. Remember, you can find Cage's Kiss on Facebook and on Twitter at Cage's Kiss. And you can visit our website at www.cageskiss.com. And you can write us at cageskiss@gmail.com. Donnie, Adrian, what you got?
Well, Donnie's on that internet thing, I've heard. Some kind of Twitter or something.
peruse the interwebs.
Yeah. I cover the
He's
waterfront.
at The Boy Who Blew on
I am
Twitter.
The Boy Who Blew on Twitter. I also have a RedTube channel set up and Pornhub because I need money.
Man's gotta eat.
I also would like to promote my newest email address you can reach me at, which is aliensarecompletebullshit at whogivеsadamn.com.
Educate yourself.
Yeah.
I'm
Adrian,
on
what do you-
DeviantArt.
what do you got?
I'm still on DeviantArt these days. I'm Leo the Fox, all one word, all lowercase on DeviantArt. You can see the various varying kinds of artworks that are totally splattered all over there. I'm not going to tell you where I get my pornography from, and you can find me on YouTube as A.A. Smith.
Once again, I'd like to take a moment to apologize for my brother, but not about the comments about flat earthers, because flat earthers, go fuck yourself.
Linda, where do you get your pornography?
Is it alien
where
related?
From my nightmares.
I also recommend people should look up Nick Cage Rule 34. Go entertain yourselves and have some fun.
That means that there are Cage gender bends out there, too.
We will see you next week, where we'll be discussing a little bit about Cage's life. We're going to go a little off of
We're doing a non-movie cast next week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a bunch of things in his life.
Encounter.
Yes, his first meeting Patricia Arquette and the quest she puts him on.
We all call her Patty.
Until then, give me that baby. I want that baby.
Rest in peace, Leonard Smalls.
That's your Cage kiss off.
That's so sad. It's staying in. Cage, 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 Peach. I could eat a peach for hours. Please.